It just keeps being sirens and trucks and sirens and trucks. Hi! So I am here today all naked-faced and red-faced to talk about green color correctors. I love green color correctors. Even if I'm just doing like a really naked makeup look, I will tend to do color correction. I like a light finish to my makeup, and I feel like I get that best with like layering thin layers of coverage and just having coverage where I need it, not having it where I don't need it. And so the green color corrector does a great job for covering up my redness. And I tend to always have redness, as I'm sure lots of other people do. So hopefully this will be helpful. I'm gonna go through 3 products that I use regularly and 2 kind of like honorable mention products that I'll also rotate in and that I also like and would recommend. So I've noticed that, like in watching my own videos, I've noticed what a huge difference just the green color correction stage makes alone. The first one that I start off with is usually this Essence Say No to Redness crayon. It looks really beat up really fast, but I do travel with it, so that probably contributed to it. This is not my first one. I would say the biggest reason that I came to like this crayon, it doesn't have the best formula. It doesn't have the best consistency. It's not like the best. And I mean, it's of course incredibly inexpensive being Essence. But what made such a difference for me was finding a green color corrector that was the proper light tone for my skin tone. I think especially if you've been trying color correction, and even honestly just in your concealers, if you've been trying it and you haven't really liked the results and you're not really getting it and it's just not working out, a major issue could be the tone. I think with the color correctors and with your concealers, more isn't more and less isn't more. It's like a Goldilocks situation where you really want to find the one that's just right. If it's too dark, then it doesn't really conceal. It just kind of darkens. And if it's too light, it doesn't really conceal. It just kind of lightens. But when you find that right tone that is what your skin tone is at and that is what you need and that's what you're looking for, I think it's what really makes the difference. And this did make a difference in color correction for me. So this one's a crayon. I still have a lot of product left in this one. This one's pretty new, even though it doesn't look it. And I'll apply this directly. I know for some people that's probably like horrible and terrifying, but yeah, it works for me. So I'll put this on the areas of redness. Like a lot of people, I get a lot of redness around my nose. You can see I'm not really being like precise and pinpointy. I think for some people, they're probably covering more acne spots, which is what this one is. I don't get a lot of pimples because I have dry skin, but when I do, my skin makes a spot and is very slow for that spot to decrease in its red color. Now, I've already primed my skin, but that's it. No foundation, nothing. So this is like the first, I mean, not literally the first because I said I already primed, but like as far as color and coverage goes, this is like the first layer for me. Now you can blend this in with a beauty blender, which totally works and is what I used to do, but I've been spoiling myself and I've lately been using this Wet n Wild green color cushion product. Now this is maybe even lighter than this Essence in color. You can see it's a really light green shade, but it's got that cushion and I like using that to blend this out. And then if I want to add some more coverage, I can use some of this. This is more good for like large areas. And today I went pretty ham. I wouldn't necessarily usually use this much corrector, but I want to make sure I get it across. And I felt like I had a lot of redness today. So I can blend this in. And then what the Wet n Wild is nice for is, say after I blend that in, I really still feel like I have an overall redness in my chin. I can use some of this as well. These Wet n Wild cushion products have been really nice. I've really loved the contour one. I have not loved the highlight one. And then this green one has been good too. But I would definitely say the contour is like the star of the show. Okay, so now I do have a slight green cast right now. But after putting on my foundation, there's gonna be like that green cast, it doesn't stay around. It's almost really more like it's graying out and just taking the color out of my skin. But that's what I'm aiming for, is to take that red tone out of my skin and to then put on my foundation more at the tone, even what I'm going for and what I'm aiming for and what I want. Now, one of the first green correctors that I got that I'll still use some and that I would recommend is the LA Girl Pro Concealer, their green one. And this is what I really mean by the tone of the green. This is significantly darker green. These concealers have kind of dumb applicators. There's like a brush there, which maybe really works well for some people. But I would say the best way to use it is you just want to squeeze some product and then use your finger, your sponge, your brush, whatever. I'm going to grab a brush. So I just have a little concealer brush. Now this is actually not one that I would use every single day, not really even close, but I will use it at times when I have deeper red spots, probably from like an acne spot or some sort of like more than normal irritation where the red is redder. When I used to just use this, it really wasn't doing the green correcting job. I'm gonna try putting on this spot, which I probably wouldn't normally do, but I wanna show. It's just such a darker green than those other two correctors. Now, if your skin tone is darker, if your redness is darker, then it's going to do a better job covering up that redness, and that's when I'll use it. But you really wanna try to match the redness in your skin and have an equal amount of green. You don't want it to be too green, and you're not just going to want it to be too light. So like that Wet n Wild cushion, I would expect that to probably be too light of a green for most people. That it's going to be lighter than what a lot of people like and will suit them. That instead it would just kind of, instead of really correcting their redness, it would just leave you with kind of a ghostly white veil. But for someone who's looking and searching for that light tone, it could be just right. And it's the consistency or the formula of those Wet n Wild products. It's really awesome. They really just, it's like they just disappear and blend into the skin so perfectly. Now this concealer is more concealing than the other two products I showed. So that's like my green color corrector. I hope you see a difference. I see a real difference in my skin after I've done the color correction. And then I think it looks really great after I've actually applied my makeup and everything, which I'm going to go ahead and do now so you can see how the makeup looks in the end. And I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to come back. And there's two more products that I want to talk about. They're products that I've used that I did really like, that I'll probably continue using, maybe need a repurchase, but two other recommendations for somebody that's out there looking for green color correctors. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I finished my makeup and let's talk about the other correctors I wanted to talk about. And in fact, I lied. I forgot. I had a third. So we're going to talk about 3 more products. Bonus. Let's talk first about the one that is the most bummer. This is the e.l.f. like green primer. They call it the tone adjusting primer. Now, I do think it's a bit disappointing. To be clear though, I don't think you're going to use it as a primer and just be like, ugh, I hate this. Like, it doesn't go on the face poorly. It kind of works fine like their other primers. It's got a silicone-y feel to it, and it's green in color. My issue is I don't really think it's going to accomplish much as far as green color correcting. I don't feel like it does. I feel like when you blend it out, there's really not much green to it. And also being this kind of like silicone primer, the way you're going to use it is to kind of pat it into your skin in spots. You're not really going to zone in on where you need the color correction. It's just kind of going to be really all over your entire face. Now, if it appeals to you and you want a primer anyway, and that little bit like you'll take it, then sure. Like, it's not bad, and I'll continue to use the one that I have, and it works fine as a primer. I just don't really think anyone's going to find themselves like, yep, all color corrected up. I can move on now. All right. Next. Let's talk about this one. It's from the Face Shop, which is a Korean brand. And this whole big tube that you like are not going to go through, it's kind of also like a green primer. It's a lotion feel. So it's not a silicone feel. And I think that lets you really, it feels more like a moisturizer than like a silicone-y primery primer. And you can use it for like broad areas. You know, for me, like I just have general redness. You know, you might have specific red spots and then also be like, I'm red here and I can be a little too red here. I can be a little, you know, it's good for that. And I like it for that. And I'll continue using it for that. It's just not what I'm using like right now. I'm sure I'll come around and it'll appeal to me more another time. It's not too expensive. Like I said, the tube is huge. It's really going to last you a long time. It's got an SPF of 30, so that's pretty cool. The Korean products tend to have SPF, and if that's your thing, like it is mine, you'll find that cool too. So yeah, I'd recommend that one. That one's staying around for me. And then this one I pretty well used up. And it's a bit of a mixed bag. It's the Physicians Formula Color Corrector, and this is the one in green and yellow, and I've used it hard, and it's messed up, and I really need a new one if I'm going to keep using it. It is a cushion product, and half the cushion is green and half the cushion is yellow. So obviously, here's your green color corrector. And then this one you'd probably most find makes sense like under the eyes. And I use it, and it really has a nice effect for me under the eyes. I mean, all of these ones, less the LA Girl, or that light, fair green color that I'm looking for, and this is also there. And similarly for the under eyes, this is also a really nice fair color, so it has a nice effect on my skin. The product comes out, and it feels really lightweight, and it really blends in, and I don't have any problems with it, and I like it. That being said, the cushion split in half is a little squirrely. I definitely need a lot more green than I do the yellow. I honestly used the applicator even, which Physicians Formula uses these kind of weird spongy applicators a lot. I don't feel like most people like them, but I'm okay with it sometimes, and I thought it worked fine for this product. I just know that it is kind of weird. Definitely Physicians Formula full price is expensive for the drugstore, but you should be able to get it on sale. I definitely get mine on sale. I mean, if it's important, if you're interested in it, I say give it a try. I did like it, but I can understand why some of it's kind of like weirdness didn't necessarily appeal to people. As with like all cushion products, you're not getting huge bang for your buck. The product isn't going to last that long. This didn't last that long. I mean, it lasted long enough for me to think it's worth it, but it's not like this that's going to last you forever. Just the cushion kind of method doesn't hold a lot of product, and it definitely wastes a lot of product. That's my opinion on color correctors. The green color correctors specifically. The other one that I tend to do is the under eye, and so like a yellow kind of peachy tone. My takeaway for color correcting, like in my opinion, I think much more important than plunking down the money to get something expensive is to really look specifically at the green tone, really look at the tone of your own skin tone, of the own redness that you're trying to cancel, and try to match there. If you have a fair skin tone, if the red is that light kind of pink, then you want to be looking at light products like me. And if you have a deeper skin tone and your red is more red, then you're going to want to find a greener, a deeper, darker green product. And I think more so than formula, it's that color match that's really going to make a difference. At least it does to me. That's what I would take away. These are the different products that I would recommend, or maybe not that recommend. I have used other color correction products, and the reason these are the ones that I still have sitting around is because they're the ones that I like the most. They're the ones that work the most. So I'm gonna say goodbye. I hope you found this helpful, and bye! Bye!